Hey, podcast here. Frank Sasso here from New Pod City. Just want to let you know, August 3rd to the 6th, August 3, 4, 5, and 6 of 2021, we will be heading down to Nashville, Tennessee for the Podcast Movement 2021. If you want to come and join us in Nashville, Tennessee, August 3rd to the 6th, 2021, you can go to podcastmovement.com, buy your tickets, and be sure to type in New Pod City to receive a 30% discount off your ticket. That's right, New Pod City, all one word, no spaces, to receive a 30% discount right off your ticket price. We look forward to seeing you down there. Sasso out.
This is Jeff.
This is Brandon.
We're the Film Blurs. This episode is brought to you by...
If you're a digital video editor, you need Edius. Edius is all about giving editors the creative freedom to create any application environment. It is designed to put the power in the hands of the editor with incredible flexibility. Edius, editing refined. Edius allows multiple users to edit, work with content as it imports, and getting content to the user incredibly fast. Check out the latest version of Edius that just launched. Download a 30-day trial today at edius.net. Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, won't fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Rondo's got what plants
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, what's going on, people? I am Jeff Stewart, filmmaker, official podcaster now, writer, general creative asshole, and I woke up and I chose anger today.
I'm Brandon, a.k.a. the protagonist, a.k.a. Why are you here, Joe? You in my house now. Now I gotta call the cops. You breaking in my fucking house. Let me tell you how Jill's doing, the mother of your kids. She's married to a billionaire now. That nigga gives me $1 million a week because I'm taking care of these kids. Very good. You know what? He lets her explore. She's telling me all types of shit. Like she's going on double dates, having sex with 2 men at once. Stuff you never wanted to try with her. Now how you feel? Good, get the fuck out of my house.
Man, Joe's got it bad, man.
AKA B. Wood the Magnificent.
God damn, I love these intros you have. The Ballad of Joe is the next Netflix TV show. You know, I cannot wait. We are pitching it to, we got a bidding war between Netflix and Amazon Prime for Joe's story. The Brandon the Magnificent trilogy. Oh shit!
Let's do some real quick cleanup.
All right, let's clean this shit up.
So we got to briefly go into F7 and F8 last time. So let's real quickly, I would say, after we got to see F9 this past weekend, and I could say, yeah, these movies live and die with Justin Lin because he gets what he's making.
Right.
I think James Wan, like I said, great. He had that mountain sequence is Spielbergian in terms of character action and just how it works.
Those are bold words.
And because all the action comes out of character, man.
Right.
It makes sense. It's like rewatching Raiders this past weekend. I was like, you see how everybody is competent at what they're doing. Like when Indy has to fight that big Nazi dude,
right?
The sigh he gives, where he's just like,
"It's a living," you know.
And he has to climb off the airplane to fight the dude.
Right.
I love that. Like, there's so many, or when he, dude whips out the sword and he's just like, you know what, fuck it, just shoots the dude. Like that's character stuff to me.
Right.
In action, right? So, thing is, for obvious reasons, 7 had to take itself a little more serious because that's the one where Paul Walker died when they were making it.
Right.
But with 8, man, I just feel like F. Gary Gray wasn't the one to do that. Like it seemed like a paycheck movie for him.
I mean, it looks like he had fun with it, but of all of the ridiculousness that has become this series, that one actually seems the most ridiculous.
Yes, and that's my problem with it. Like, yo, they took Yo, besides the fact of Vin Diesel using his car to blow up a missile, or The Rock pushing literally pushing a torpedo at 100 miles an hour, hanging out the truck, or that the fact they used their cars as shields to save Vin Diesel from a nuclear explosion.
But that's a family moment, baby. That's what family does.
God damn
See, all of that stuff didn't bother me nearly as much as the scene in New York where they remote control every vehicle.
The zombie cars.
The zombie car shit. I was like,
or even when they what are those things called? Grappling hooks.
Right.
Where they grappling hook Vin Diesel's car and how he breaks out of it. I'm like, this is stupid.
I mean, even that was like, all right, well,
Jesus Christ. Also, 8, they redeemed Jason Statham because, like we said before, this whole mythology really takes off in 6 because in 6
that's where
Owen Shaw's introduced, and because of that, now we're dealing with the consequences with Jason Statham showing up, and you realize, oh, Jason Statham's responsible for Han's death. He's literally like Michael Myers because he shows up out of nowhere, wreaks havoc, and they can't control him. Can't fight him, and then in the next one he's like automatically part of the family, where I'm just like, nah, nigga, we just watched him do all this shit to you guys in the last movie, and now all of a sudden he's part of the team.
Right, but then you watch Hobbs and Shaw, and he's got his redemptive arc, and like everybody's got a redemptive arc in this fucking, like, I can't imagine what it's gonna be like in F10, which is the shit on my keyboard on F10 when Charlize Theron probably ends up with a redemptive arc.
We'll see, because they're shooting, as we said, 10's going to be 2 movies now, and it's going to be F10 and F11 because they're Avengers are in it, and they're shooting them back to back. They're starting in January, according to Vin Diesel.
Right.
But also 8 is the one where you could clearly tell that the beef between The Rock and Vin Diesel,
it was hard.
And it ruined the movie. Honestly, it ruined the movie. And then you hear about Vin Diesel's behavior and you're just like, yeah, you're a fucking douchebag, dude.
Right, this is my series. It's like,
relax.
Come on, man. You're still going to get paid on the back end.
And my other thing is too, my friend, he did a interview with Vin Diesel. I forget which press tour it was, but for one of the press tours he was doing, I think it might have been XXX, the third one. I
forget there's 3 of those goddamn movies.
He waited an hour and a half for this motherfucker to show up.
Right.
At the hour and a half mark, because he was gonna wait 2 hours because he really needed this assignment and he really wanted to get it and whatever. So at the hour and a half mark, he's like, all right, if in another 30 minutes this dude don't show up, I'm leaving because this is 2 fucking hours.
Right.
His agent walks in with a Beats pill playing music. Right?
Okay.
10 minutes later, after that, this motherfucker apparently and apparently this is multiple people have said this. Because junkets, you do one after the other.
Right.
This motherfucker walked in dancing to the music over the Beats pill.
Yo, so this motherfucker has theme music when he goes and does press junkets?
You know what I'm saying? And to have the audacity to do that shit when you're an hour and a half late.
I was like, all right, here's my thing. Vin Diesel, don't forget that you're black, man.
Also, don't forget
they will take that money away from you real quick.
Also, don't forget you don't have anything else outside of this franchise.
Right.
So, humble yourself, nigga.
Right. Like it's the Fast and the Furious. No one, like, all right, besides Fast and the Furious, name 3 Vin Diesel movies.
Well, I like the third XXX, Riddick I liked, and then the only two other movies that he's in that I like are Saving Private Ryan, he's not a lead in that, and then Billy Lynn's Long Walk, he's not a lead in that either.
XXX, canceled. Like, there's no more XXXs.
Well, they're trying to make a 4th one because that one made money.
Right. Okay, they're trying. Riddick, canceled.
Yeah, because that made no more. Yeah, no money.
So, like, this is all you got, dude.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. Like, what was the movie where he played the mobster with the really bad hairdo?
Oh, Find Me Guilty.
Find Me Guilty. Like, you're not getting Find Me Guilty.
Yeah, bro. You want to be
roles.
Yeah. I understand you want to be an actor, but you're good in supporting roles in dramas. Like, You were good in Saving Private Ryan, and then you were good in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. You were with.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, then again, you had two great directors, so that makes sense. You had Spielberg and Ang Lee, and those dudes know how to get performances out of people. So no offense, bro, but like watching those two movies, I'd be like, yeah, well, I'll give you a nice meaty supporting role. I'd never be like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you in as the lead. Like,
right. I mean, honestly, he's a supporting character in all these fucking movies and all the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, it was Paul Walker's gig before that, you know, like I cared more about Paul Walker.
Yeah, and Paul Walker got better. Like I remember there's a part in 6 where he goes to tell that Letty's alive, and his reactions to how Letty's alive and like his anger, like throughout the movie about what happened with Letty. And if you don't know, watch 4 and 6 because they explain it all about why Brian feels guilty about what happened. And he's doing some good acting. It's not like over the top. It's very subtle, like his reactions to,
like he was really growing as an actor through all of that, because like besides the Fast and the Furious series, he was doing indie movies.
Yes.
You know, outside of that. So he was really trying to get away from being like the blonde-haired pretty boy.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you know what? His presence is felt and missed in these previews.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like especially this last one, like the way they have to explain how they keep him out and cut around him.
Yeah, they gotta mention him and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's so fucking sad because we know. Like I would have rather they killed him instead of this lingering notion that somewhere Brian is just babysitting and protecting the kids while this adventure is going on.
Well, 8 was, he came up with 8. The story for 8, Paul Walker. Like while they were making 7, he was like, wouldn't it be fucking insane if Dom went evil and we all had to deal with that, especially Brian?
Right.
And imagine how much better that movie would have been if
Paul Walker was like in the entire film.
Yeah. Like they got away with 9 because it's not deeply personal, resonated to Paul, but he would still come back because, you know, Toretto is his ride or die guy. But 8, when they explained why he wasn't in 8, I'm like, no. If he found out Toretto went bad, he would be back in a heartbeat.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. So, all right. Well,
all right,
Jeff.
And there's Hobbs and Shaw. We got to talk about Hobbs and Shaw.
You talk about. I don't give a fuck about that movie.
All right. So Hobbs and Shaw, I watched it this weekend because I had just enough of the Fast and the Furious series, and it's one of those movies where I really wanted to watch it, but I had to be in the right mood, and it was just in my queue, daring me to watch it. It's like, you won't, pussy, right? Like the movie would just look at me like that, and so I was like, "Fuck you, I'm going to do it," and I watched it. It was fun. It wasn't, I hate saying canon when it comes to these fucking series. But it was a fun, over the top movie. I really liked the relationship, the chemistry between Hobbs and Shaw, between The Rock and Jason Statham.
That bickering shit got old very quickly.
But like it halfway through, it kind of dried up, And
the constant cameos that they're gonna build their own team. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. But like it was a fun watch. It was funny. It reminded me of a '90s action comedy. If you put Martin Lawrence in it, or if you put Jackie Chan versus what's the dude's name? I can't even think of his from Rush Hour.
Chris Tucker.
If you put Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan in that movie, I'd still like it. It's had that '90s vibe to me.
All right. Well.
All right. So now we're done with the previous 9 Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into it. The new one. I have a lot of thoughts. So.
Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. So, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What you watching? What you watching? I said what you watching? What you watching?
What are you watching?
I am watching a lot of fucking bullshit. this weekend. I went on a horror binge because I haven't really, ever since The Conjuring, I haven't watched any horror movies, and I'm a big horror fan. So I decided, you know what, this weekend I'm going to watch a whole bunch of shit I've been meaning to get around to, and all of them but one were absolutely horrible.
All right.
Yeah.
So which one?
All right. So we're going to start with the one that I watched just last night. It's The Seventh Day, starring Guy Pearce.
The fuck is that?
All right. So I saw a trailer for this like a year and a half ago, and it is pretty much Training Day with exorcists. You had a young priest and an old priest, and the old priest is fucking, training him in the ways of being an exorcist. And it looked awesome. On paper, it looks awesome. The trailer looked amazing. It's on Netflix. I think it just dropped Friday or something like that. So I was like, fuck yeah, let me watch this shit. And the first half hour, 45 minutes of the movie, it was a really, really fucking interesting flick. I really enjoyed the ideas that were being thrown out there, the way it was going to go. And then at the halfway mark, it just totally shit the bed and became your standard basic bitch horror movie. Too much blood, violence for no reason. And what really, really pissed me off is they had an Uncle Larry moment. And if you don't know what an Uncle Larry moment is, it's something I just made up. All right? It's when in the middle of a film, right, the main character gets a call or a message from somebody just warning them inadvertently about some nefarious shit that's going on, right? So there's no tension, there's no buildup. It's the writer pretty much just they wrote themselves in the corner, and they was like, all right, I gotta get this out. So literally, the main, the young priest, he calls a phone number. On the other end of the line, the other person's just like, oh, I'm so glad you're joining us. You're gonna have you're gonna enjoy all the things you have to experience with us. And then there's maniacal laughter. So automatically, okay, well, there's a twist coming. There's no build up. It's like you pretty much just told me what's going to happen in the next half of this movie. So fuck you, The Seventh Day.
Okay.
Yeah. So stay for Guy Pearce doing a really, really bad Baltimore accent.
Fuck, man. Guy Pearce, man. He's another one who needs a better agent. Like,
right.
Damn it.
Like on paper, this movie looked so good because I love Training Day and I love movies with exorcisms and shit like that. I love like supernatural, like ghost hunter type shit. Nah. So the second shitty movie I watched,
right?
And you've got to watch this, and we've got to do an ill-advised cinema on this one.
All right. So do you want to hold off on it?
I just want to talk about how bad this is, though, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. It's called Await the Dawn. All right. So if you anywhere on the internet or any of your streaming channels, if you get a chance to watch Await the Dawn, don't.
Okay.
All right. So besides the horrible acting, the ugly lighting schemes, the one thing that stood out the most is the whole entire movie is supposed to take place in a RV, right? So they have the exteriors of the RV, but the interiors of the RV, they made a set that looked like an RV, that was supposed to look like an RV, but pretty much it was just a room with really ugly wallpaper and 2 car seats in it.
Okay.
And a dashboard. So that's what you're getting with Await the Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah. The third one, movie I watched on my horror trifecta is Death Rink, which is your standard bare bones, like low budget, independent horror movie about a slasher in a roller skating rink. It was competently shot. It was, boring because there's no murder until no real violence until a half hour is left in the movie. But, it seemed like they really tried. And I appreciate a movie that looks like it's trying, even though it may have failed. So Death Rink, it's not going to change your life. It is what it is, but, you're not going to hate yourself. So all of that preamble to tell you about all these lackluster movies that I saw is to get to Censor.
The fuck is that?
Censor is the movie I was telling you about last week. So it's a movie about video nasties. If you don't know about video nasties, here's a quick history lesson. In the 70s/80s, Britain blamed horror movies for an uptick in violence around the country, right? So they would ban or censor heavily movies, horror movies like Hammer films, Argento films, and stuff like that were, coming into the country. So this movie, Censor, is about a woman who is literally a government censor. Her job is to watch the most horrible, low-budget grindhouse movies and then either ban them or cut them so much that they fall within the standards. All right. And so she watches this particularly nasty film that kind of connects with one of her traumas, and then it just goes downhill from there. All right. And she just loses the plot and she goes fucking crazy. It is possibly one of the most artfully done horror movies I've seen in a long time. It's effective without being over the top. And it's a smart horror flick.
Sounds like an A24 film.
I like if it was not A24, right? But it's in A24's wheelhouse.
Okay.
Like when I was watching it, it's like beneath it says like movies that you would based on this, movies that you would watch, and they were all A24 films. So if you get a chance to watch Censor, it is the highlight on my horror weekend. All right, don't expect a basic slasher. Don't expect a basic anything. It's very, very complex. It's very lean, and it's like it's done by people who appreciate old school horror, those grindhouse movies. Because there's grindhouse emulators. That's the thing now. You put some film grain on it. You have deliberately bad acting, deliberately bad special effects. You tilt the camera a little bit, put a 70s soundtrack on it, boom, you call it grindhouse. This one really does justice to that grindhouse era and to the video nasties.
Okay. All right. Well, I gotta run through all my stuff real quick because this is a lot. I watched a lot of shit, man.
Okay, let's go.
Real quickly, I'll do The General's Daughter. It's a John Travolta military thriller from 1999.
Yo, that popped up on my shit this weekend.
For HBO Max?
Yeah.
Because it's leaving. And I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it because it's Simon West, and Simon West did Con Air. And I feel like had this been made by a woman or somebody better, this would have been good. Because it's dealing with rape, and rape is at the forefront of this, especially rape in the military. And I was just like, the way you guys handle this is very, very, very male. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not no nuance there, no tact where there needs to be thoughtful tact.
But once again, it's a Simon West film,
and it's just like, ooh boy, this needed a woman's touch. So it's the type of movies I do wish they made today and would get released in theaters today. But at the same time, I'm just like, This is also why they stopped making these type of movies.
Well, wasn't there like a point in time where John Travolta was just doing all of these military thrillers?
Yeah.
Like Basic. I watched Basic a couple of weeks ago, and that was needlessly complex.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Hulu had a new A24 movie that they premiered over the weekend called False Positive. Has Ileana Glazer, who, if you don't know, it's Ileana from Broad City, and Justin Theroux's in it, and Pierce Brosnan is in it. It's solid. You know, and for something that's on Hulu, it's a nice 90-minute watch. It's Rosemary's Baby, basically, except a little more twisted, a little more updated. I enjoyed it. Nice little movie. Also, shout out for Ileana for putting herself out there. She shows everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. Wait. So she co-wrote this, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah. When I saw the poster show up, I didn't realize it was Ileana Glazer
Because the hair threw you off.
The hair threw me off, and
It's the straight hair.
Yeah, it's just like, oh shit. Ileana Glazer did a horror movie.
Yeah, man. I appreciate people trying to break out, because I understand why they don't want to do comedy right now, especially because, you know, you can be pigeonholed and stereotyped into being the, you know, dumb hippie stoner. And she's currently pregnant now, for real, with her husband.
Good
and
for her.
I remember reading one of her posts saying she's like, I'm 5 months pregnant. It was on 420. She's like, I'm 5 months pregnant. Happy birthday, Mary Jane. I wish I could smoke you right now.
Don't change, baby girl. Don't ever change.
Also watched The New Mutants.
Yo, that's another one of those movies that's been staring me in the face, daring me to fucking watch it.
This movie's production history is insane. It's went through a lot. The studio meddled with it and then went back to what the director originally wanted. I remember Josh Boone saying some dumbass shit when this movie was coming out, just because I'm like, my man, you're saying all this shit in the middle of a pandemic, so fuck you.
So what did he say?
I can't remember. It was something really fucking stupid though, where I was just like, are you serious? Like something about like, oh, I have no sympathy, like people should just go see the movie. And I'm just like, motherfucker, we're in a pandemic, like you're telling people to like, and it wasn't like it's now where there's a vaccine and they're making sure everything's relegated. This was this movie came out August 20th, where literally it was a bad idea. Scientists were saying, do not go to the fucking movies.
Look, as much as I shit on Nolan for pushing out Tenet, he has a track record. He's got a history of bangers,
right?
Of hits. Josh Boone, right? He all he's done before this, The Fault in Our Stars.
I went to a press screening for that. Is there anything in that movie that would suggest him being a plus top tier director? No.
Teens.
So
that's fucking. That's all they saw. They saw like, oh wait, he did the successful movie that had to do with teens. We've got teens in this mutant movie. Boom.
Well, watching this, and it's very clear, Homeboy's just a middle of the road director. This is basically a split with teens. You know, I'm not split, glass with teens, because there are a bunch of mutants locked up in a mental hospital. And there's only two characters that are fleshed out. It's the new girl and Macy Williams. Macy Williams is a werewolf, and the new girl has... I'll let you discover. The movie's only 90 minutes. For some reason, Anya Taylor-Joy's character is racist for no reason. Like, just uber racist, where you're just like, why the fuck do you guys have her saying this shit? Like,
Yeah.
there's no point.
Because you need a bad guy.
And for the most part, like, there's shit... Like, there's stuff in her... Like, her she's dealing with her trauma, and there's these deformed smiley face people that come from her past, because parts of the movie is your worst fears manifest, and that's one of her worst fears, and you never find out who those smiley people are, why she's scared of them or anything.
So does this fall in anywhere in the X-Men universe? Like, do they even reference?
Yes, they do. They say mutants. They talk about the X-Men briefly, but it's never overt. This is just some like spin-off shit where like they're in their own place.
Didn't they already do a New Mutant spin-off TV show? What was that bullshit?
You're thinking of Generation X.
Generation X.
That the 90s.
No, there was one that was like had Bill from fucking True Blood in it. That came out like 3 or 4 years ago to the internet. But like so you said that this went through a lot of production mishaps and everything like that. Like from the trailers, it looks like it's trying to be a horror movie. Is it a horror movie? What the fuck is it?
Sorta. It is at parts, and then other parts is just like the Breakfast Club with a bunch of mutants. I don't know, man. It's not good. I'll say that it is not good. I don't know if it's better or worse than Dark Phoenix. To be honest with you, it's shorter than Dark Phoenix.
I still have not seen Dark Phoenix, man. I gave up on the X saga at Apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't understand why Logan just wasn't the end. Like after Logan, they should have took a break and just said, let's regroup, let's think, and let's think about how we can move forward.
So here's the thing: I don't even consider Logan part of X-Men. That's how vastly superior that movie is to most of the reboots. I guess the soft reboot X-Men, after Days of Future Past.
You see, and here's where they fucked up. In Days of Future Past, you end it with everybody's back. Like you got the whole original cast back. That's what got everybody excited. Y'all motherfuckers right then and there should have said, hey, we're going to do one more with the original cast. Then we're going to have Logan, and that's it for the original cast. And we'll continue with the new cast. Because that's what people want to see. Everybody wants to see the old characters back in action. And you guys tease that. And then when you get to Logan, they're all dead. So Logan really should have been the end of it. But, y'all kept going. So, yeah, that's the New Mutants. It's not good. Please don't see it.
All right. So that movie, that show I was talking about, it was called The Gifted.
Oh, yeah. So who gives a fuck?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that New Mutant shit before on a TV show, and it failed miserably.
And they did Legion, and Legion has nothing to do with anything because that's so in its own world.
Right.
So and I really liked that first season of Legion, and then seasons 2 and 3, it stuck their heads up their own ass, honestly.
Well, I haven't seen Legion yet.
You should watch the first season, and then you hit the eject button after that because that shit.
Yeah,
I watched the whole show. It's 3 seasons, like 10 episodes each season.
But it finishes out, right? Because it was meant to be 3 seasons.
Yeah, it was meant to run longer.
Oh, was it? Okay.
They said wrap it up because the ratings weren't strong. Right. And you know what, man? Fuck them.
So as much as everyone shits on DC for not having a plan, Fox is the granddaddy of not having a fucking plan. And just we got all this IP. Let's do whatever with it.
Meddling with the shit, man. Like they meddled with Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was gonna suck either way. They meddled with New Mutants. They meddled with Deadpool because they didn't even want to make the fucking first Deadpool movie.
Right. I mean that was some slick shit on Ryan Reynolds' behalf.
Yeah, man. Like Fantastic Four. We all obviously know. Like when I read about what that movie was originally supposed to be, and Josh Trank's like, here's some of the original script, and you read some of the original script, I'm like, I don't know if this would have been good, but it would have been better.
It would all right.
Like the fact that he had like there's that whole joke about his teacher making fun of him. Oh, you're building a flying car. At the end of the movie, the nigga built the fantastic car, and that's how they get to the other dimension.
Right.
There's scenes in that trailer where I'm like, this is pretty emotionally affecting that aren't in the, like, there's this, during the climax, you see Sue cradling Johnny because Johnny looks like he's out dead. Like they said, the entire third act is completely different.
Right. Because it's Fox. It's Fox being fucking Fox.
Yeah, because the movie, he originally pitched it as a David Cronenberg superhero movie. It was supposed to be a body horror superhero movie.
Which I'm there for. I'm 100% there
and
for.
it makes sense. It makes sense because you got a dude who's all rocks. You got a dude who's literally stretching, every part stretching.
You got a dude who just
on fire,
spontaneously combusts.
And then you got a woman who's fucking turning. Not only is she turning invisible, but she's projecting fucking force fields, deadly force fields. Like, yeah, I can see how that's body horror, and y'all couldn't. You couldn't even stick to your guns on that one. Like, why say yes if you guys didn't want to follow through?
Because it sounded good. It sounded good on paper.
Until you saw it, and then you're like, "Oh, this is not the mass marketed movie we. This is
not the movie we signed up for." It's like, no, this is exactly the fucking movie you signed up for. Like, there's a thing called a script, and it laid out everything I planned on doing with this fucking movie
and the storyboards, right?
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
like there's nothing, no surprises. It's not like surprise Batman cucks Superman. You know what I mean? like, there's no surprises there. So I don't know. All right. Well, moving on. I watched Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron to do my work on this.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me about this?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about this movie?
Yeah, it is not good. Is it better than Spirit Untamed? Yes, but it is not good. This movie would have been amazing had it just been the music and that's it. Because the thing that drives this movie is Matt Damon's voiceover, which is just as bad as you expect it to be.
Was it worse than Marky Mark's in Infinite?
No.
Fair enough.
There's a bunch of Bryan Adams songs for no reason. They're trying to emotionally manipulate you. Where I'm just like, you know what emotionally manipulated me? Had you just let this shit play out the way it's supposed to instead of using these songs to underscore the emotion. And the songs are all like 4 or 5 minutes.
Are they new Bryan Adams or are they old Bryan Adams? It's a trick question. I don't fucking know. I wouldn't know a new Bryan Adams song from an old Bryan Adams song.
Okay, cool. Because I was about to say, I was like, I'm not a fan, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
didn't he do the
out of my wheelhouse?
Didn't he do the soundtrack for
Robin Hood?
Robin Hood,
yeah, he did that.
Yeah,
and then you have, if it's not those two driving it, constantly driving that. You have the early 2000s cheesy Hans Zimmer score. Like that score is garbage. It was before Hans Zimmer became Hans Zimmer. It's that heated over Jerry Bruckheimer.
Right, I was about to say that Simpson Bruckheimer.
Yeah, where
fucking,
you know what I'm talking about.
Days of Thunder shit. Yeah.
Yo, because you listen to those scores from those Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson productions, they all sound the same, and then you see who scored them, and it's all Hans Zimmer, and you're like, ooh boy. And that's the thing that's funny is Pirates of the Caribbean has that score, and how does that stand out? Like, at least I was like, all right, at least there's something memorable here, but it sounds exactly what he was doing back in the 90s, because that's what he made in the 90s was those generic action scores that dun 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 dun.
So look,
dun, dun, dun.
Hans Zimmer back in the 90s, he had BDE. He had big dick energy when it came to fucking scoring, but he had no nuance, right? So that's having a big dick but not know how to fuck. That was Hans Zimmer scoring, and now he's got his stroke down a little bit more.
He didn't become Hans Zimmer, the Hans Zimmer we all know and love, until Batman Begins. And then I even said this to my brother, you can't even give him much credit there, because that was co-scored by James Newton Howard, because they co-scored that movie together. Those first two movies, they co-scored. Like, Nolan brought the best out of that dude. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go. But so there's narration all the way through. Remember the days when you could have a movie about animals and it'd just be fucking silent, like The Bear?
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, this movie would have been so much more effective if the only thing that talked were the people, and the people are only in it for like 10-15 minutes of the running time. Otherwise, this would have been an amazing little art movie, and effective too, about a horse just trying to live its life.
Like Black Beauty. Remember Black Beauty?
Yeah, man.
Where, all like the only thing that was talking were the people, but you could see the emotion in the animal's eyes.
Or even Black Stallion.
Right?
It's like, yeah, man. Like, yeah.
What, Black Beauty? Did I say Black Beauty?
It's two.
Yeah.
Because they're both based on books. Those are both well beloved books.
Right.
yeah, man. Maybe just let this live on Netflix. Like, there's a reason why this show is successful on Netflix. Like, y'all are like, here, Netflix, take this dead movie that we had a long time ago. You could make a show out of it. They did. It's successful, and then you're like, oh, let's make some money out of it by remaking it and putting it into theaters. And I'm just like,
it's cheaper than the babysitter.
You know what, man? Just there's some things that should live and die on Netflix, and Spirit needs to just.
He needs to go to the glue factory. Yeah, and he's been shot. He broke his leg. He needs to shoot it.
Apparently, I didn't notice. Both movies are very popular with women, so
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing.
I am.
There you go, ladies. There you go.
I'm confused by this. Any women out there want to message the Film Blurs Instagram at Film Blurs? Please feel free to do, because I'm so confused.
But like, you have to. The subject line has to be horse stuff. We won't answer it unless the hashtag is the subject's horse stuff.
Whatever. I'm not getting into that.
It's a Saturday Night Live reference. All right. It's dumb.
Boy, I finally got to see Taika Waititi's second movie. Boy.
Okay.
It is about a literal child named Boy.
Right.
And he's basically running the house while his grandma's out of town. And then while his grandma's out of town, his father escapes from jail and comes back home and tries to be a presence in all of his kids' lives. It's a comedy drama. The dad is played by Taika. He's a loser. He's trying to lead a gang, and it's a coming of age.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like not JoJo. What was the movie that he did before Jojo Rabbit?
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Right.
I like that one better. This is still good though. It is filthy. Like, Hunt for the Wilder People, you could sit down as a family and watch. Right. Boy, you cannot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, boy, you cannot. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I've watched. Yeah, let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right. Jeff, did you watch the Green Knight featurette?
I did watch the Green Knight featurette.
Let's give some context to it.
All right.
The A24, they put up a 4-minute featurette because I know some people have watched both Green Knight trailers and have been like, what? So they put this out to kind of demystify and explain it. And like I discovered after watching that second trailer, they reinforce that this is a morality tale, and I'm quite fine with that.
Right. Here's my thing. After watching the first two trailers, if you still don't know what it's about, there's this thing called Google that you could have just typed in the Green Knight, and like when I did, there was a listing of Sir Gawain. Was it Gawain?
Yep.
And the Green Knight legend, and it's like, oh, okay, that explains a whole lot more.
Yeah, like I said, I found a Twitter thread and read that. What was it? It was like 20 tweets, and that dude broke it down, and I was just like, oh, okay, so this is it's about a immature knight who goes on a quest, and he grows up, learns some lessons, and he kind of realizes he's bisexual because he's kissing the queen, kissing the king, and I'm just like,
wait, isn't the queen his aunt now though? Like,
no, it's different kingdom, not Camelot. Because remember, he leaves Camelot.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, but I don't know how I feel about this nigga trying to break up a happy home.
Well, fucking, he's growing, he's learning, and he's hunting a Green Knight.
Yeah. And let this be a lesson. Do not be too eager to prove yourself. Sometimes, you gotta keep your ego in check.
Right, because
you saw how eager he was. He hopped up and whipped out. He's like, I'll fight you. And
everybody wants to be the champ until it's time to be the champ, and then you got to defend your crown.
Yo, because I love in the featurette. He's like, King Arthur just turns to him. He's like, so yeah, it's been a year, so you got to go because it's the honorable thing to do. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, nigga, you wanted to be a knight. Guess what? This is your quest. You go go do your quest. You thought I sat around and just chilled all day? That's why I'm king.
Right. They said in the trailer, yeah. So the quest was 2 parts. You had to beat him, and then you got to beat him again. Like, that's what he said. He came in there when you cut off his head.
And what did he think? Because after he this is in the trailer where he cuts off his head and the dude picks up his head and he's like, well, I'll see you 1 year's 4th night, and rides off laughing, holding his head. Like, I'd be like, I made a terrible mistake.
Like, nah, son,
and he thought that was a joke. How do you think that's a joke?
I would become a farmer after that.
I'd be like, Unc, I maybe made a mistake. I know you fought all types of mystical creatures, but you have Excalibur, you got Merlin, you got all types of shit. I don't got nothing.
I don't got a crew.
Yeah,
like, you got a crew.
Yeah, I'm part of the Knights of the Round Table. I can't even take them. It's just me. I've been like, but I get where Arthur's coming from. He's like, yo, you gotta learn a lesson, little nigga. Like,
fly, little birdie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so A24 put out this thing to pretty much explain everything that we just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how it ends too. Chivalry isn't dead.
Yeah.
And it's not. Chivalry isn't dead. Sometimes you got to fight for your honor. Yeah, chivalry's not about being like polite or defending somebody else's honor. Sometimes it's about defending your honor and yourself. So yeah, chivalry isn't dead.
Yeah, so I'm fanboying for this movie real hard.
Yeah, because it's gonna be weird and surreal.
Right, it's A24.
Yeah,
they're gonna blow some domes right there.
Yeah. David Lowery, I recently read an interview with him. David Lowery's like, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I can't believe this movie got made on the budget we got.
What was the budget?
He didn't say, but he said it was significant. But it was still, he said it was significant, but still lower than an episode of Game of Thrones. Because apparently they shot this the same time they were shooting the end of Game of Thrones. So he was just like
they got Game of Thrones sloppy seconds.
Yep. So whoever wasn't working on Game of Thrones, he was just like, hey guys, come work on this movie real quick.
We got snacks.
So like they would steal their second AD, That makes sense. I respect that.
Good for them.
They got people who knew what they're doing. So it looks like they got people who knew what they're doing. And I'm glad. Sometimes you got to go where the money is. And sometimes you got to steal from the people who have money.
Yeah. So, sometimes, what's that animal that follows behind a shark and just eats the shit that the shark leaves behind?
Oh, I don't know.
There's an animal that does that. That's like being an indie filmmaker. Sometimes you got to swim in someone's wake.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm going to do that next time Christopher Nolan makes a movie. He find the crew that has downtime. Like, hey, guys, come.
It's like, you want a movie that makes sense? Come here.
Come work on this real quick. All right. So moving from that, we have the new Shang-Chi trailer, which basically breaks down the story, specifically his relationship with his parents.
Right. This trailer, to me, said less about the movie than the first teaser, but at least it explains more about the 10 rings.
Well, this trailer is also shorter than the first one because the first one was 2 minutes and this one's like 1.5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, the 10 rings are actually like armbands. Right. They're like armbands. I thought, because in the comics, when the Mandarin has the 10 rings, they're actual rings. But I'm just glad, like I said, they didn't make him the caricature racist Asian that he is. Because, bro, he looks like Fu Manchu in the comics, and like his skin's green and shit like that. And I'm just like, if you read the old, because the Mandarin's the arch nemesis in the comics of Iron Man. And if you read some old Iron Man comics, you're going to sit there and be like,
this is real problematic.
Yeah, you're going to be like, what the fuck? So again, I'm glad. I'm excited. That's all I got to say. I don't want to give away what happens at the end of the trailer, because that was something they should have held on to for the movie.
What, the fight scene?
Yeah, the fight, and we'll leave that. We'll leave it at that.
I don't even think that's like you. Come on, if you know anything about movies, like if they set up the father, that's gonna happen. But
No, not the fight between the dad and the son. There's another fight between two other characters in the MCU.
Oh, I didn't. Did I miss something?
Okay, I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving from that, we saw Sing 2. We saw this trailer in front of F9. What a weird trailer to play in front of F9 because very little audience overlap there. This looks just as weird and bad as the first one, if not worse.
It looks like the Phil Spector story with anthropomorphic animals. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, we're neither going to convince you nor dissuade you from watching Sing 2 because if you're a Sing 2 person, you know that in your heart, and nothing we say.
Yeah, God bless. If you like that first movie, God bless. I think it's a piece of shit, but hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? God bless. Anyways, Suicide Squad, their last trailer, that shit. Every trailer for this has something in it that cracks me up, and we saw this in IMAX, and it took up the entire IMAX screen, and they reinforced that at the end of the trailer, like shot in IMAX. It says it real bigly, shot in IMAX. So. The weasel shit had me dying.
Right, the weasel shit, the starfish shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, starfish code for butthole. Harley, where you been? I was taking a number 2.
Yeah, so like the Suicide Squad is the movie that was promised.
Yeah, this is the movie out of all the movies that come out this summer. More than like the only other movie I'm dying to see is The Green Knight. So like this and The Green Knight, like, yeah, I want to see Black Widow, but not as much as this.
Right.
I want to see other summer movies? Yeah, of course. But these are my 2.
Like, and it's James Gunn. Like, James Gunn.
These are my 2.
Has proven himself, even as bad as I think the second Guardians was.
Yeah.
Comparatively to the first one.
Yeah.
It's still like a solid piece of pop culture fucking filmmaking.
Because as much as I don't like that second Guardians film, at least it has some personality. Right. You know what I mean? You could tell he tried, right? So I'll give it that. But yeah, I can't wait to go back to Neshaminy, have my 2 drinks, blow some more clouds, which we'll get into.
Yeah, we got real drunk this weekend.
Oh man, I was fucking wasted.
Yeah.
For moving on from Suicide Squad, they dropped the first trailer for Halloween Kills, and I'm kind of mad they spoiled some shit. I think that was a little too spoilery for.
I don't know.
Trailer.
Like, I don't know if it's spoilery or not because that could honestly be a very small part of the larger film.
To come out and just say, hey, everybody, like literally the whole town
is hunting Michael Myers.
Like I wish I could have saw that in the theater.
Right, but like to see, I'm excited about this movie. I got nothing else to say besides the fact that very seldom does a sequel live up to the first movie, and the fact that it's a weird thing because in and of itself, this Halloween is a soft reboot or continuation of the, what is it, like Halloween 3? Is this technically, this is considered Halloween 3?
Yeah. So obviously the John Carpenter's original is the first one. Right. Then the one that came out in 2018 would be technically 2.
Sorry. So we're skipping 2 altogether.
It's a sequel to the first one.
It's a sequel to the first one. Okay.
So this is literally Halloween 3. It's called Halloween Kills. Listen, I'm going to the Draft House to see it. I'm going to have a good time.
But it looks like they got it right. Let's hope. Because the first one, like the first the Halloween that we got in 2018.
Right.
I expected nothing from that. I expected it to be utter trash, and it was enjoyable all the fucking way through.
Right. Is it better than the original? Absolutely not. But it's made by people who are fans and understood what Halloween is.
Right. By fans and also that understood story because I'm sure Rob Zombie was a fan of Halloween. You know?
Yeah.
His first 2 Halloween movies, like the ones he did, they looked good, but the story was bullshit. But that's Rob Zombie. You don't go to Rob Zombie for an engaging story. You go to Rob Zombie because he can make a head explode look real good.
All right. Well, so we got this October, this Halloween Kills, and then next year it'll be Halloween Ends because they filmed them back to back.
Yeah. So let's do this.
I'm rooting for him. Karen, this seems like a parody,
dude.
I can't believe it's real.
I posted about Karen about 2 weeks ago because I thought I was getting punked. I thought it was an SNL skit gone large.
Yes.
But this is a real fucking movie.
Yes.
And it looks like it's shot on DSLRs.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it has no budget at all.
Yeah. And I'm like, Taryn Manning, you don't need to do this. Like you're a name. People know your face. You don't need to do this.
You got that Orange is the New Black money.
Yeah.
You got
the 8 Mile money.
Right. You're always going to be in my heart for Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, man. Like you don't need to do this shit. Like, why are you doing this shit?
Right.
This looks like somebody who saw like Jordan Peele's 2 movies and was just like, oh, I could do exactly what he does.
It seems like a Funny or Die skit.
Yeah.
Like any minute, I was like, all right, Funny or Die or College Humor. I wanted that to pop up because that's how it takes itself so seriously.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the trailer for Karen, because like every movie we talk about, during this trailer talk, you can kind of guess. It's either an established property, or you can guess what the movie is at large. Karen is just about a fucking Karen. It's about, there's nothing else to say.
Also, why do I want to watch something that we live through every day? Like, there's a new Karen literally every day getting somebody killed or trying to get somebody killed. Why do I want to see this shit as a fucking movie?
Right. It's not even like an interesting spin on it. Like, I'm not one to shy away from something topical as long as you have something fucking interesting to say.
And it doesn't.
It's just like, oh, wait, this bitch is an alcoholic. Like the whole entire thing, the whole entire plot is laid out in the trailer.
Yeah,
like the neighbor's an alcoholic. She doesn't like black people, and she's
her brother's a cop who's a racist, right. And it's just like, okay, you guys are hitting every single white stereotype now, and like, Jesus Christ, bro.
It's like they played hillbilly Mad Libs. And they were just like,
Yeah, no, fucking. All right, let's get into the best Well, no, because the Green Knight was ill. But let's get into to one of the best things that we saw this past weekend,
at least in the theaters.
Before we get into it, I would just like to say, some bitch paid $14.10 to come and see this 5-minute preview, not the movie, just the 5-minute preview, and then just dipped.
Right.
And before it even started, she's like, shh, everybody be quiet. Shh.
So if you watch Fast 9 or F9, there's a 5-minute preview.
For IMAX only.
IMAX only. For the new Jurassic Park that's dropping next year.
Yeah, right? Jurassic World Dominion.
Right. And so we're... whatever, the trailer, the preview doesn't start, right?
Because the trailer block ends and they're like doing their little, here's the main feature,
right? And she's like she is livid.
She's like, they're not going to show the Jurassic World preview. I was thinking in my head, I was like, yeah, where the fuck is this? And you said it too. You're like, right? You said to her, right?
Right, because I was fucking around because I thought, she was a normal person.
And you know what? If we didn't get it, Jeff, I'd be like, whatever, man. I'm having a good time anyway. Like, I'm here to see F9.
I was like, if I didn't see it then
that's just a cherry on top.
I would probably, it would be online in 2 days anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so, the movie, the after the here's your feature presentation, it starts. The 5-minute preview starts. And she's just like, everybody be quiet. Shh.
Meanwhile, let me just tell you that the first 3 minutes of this 5-minute preview is just dinosaurs farting and walking around and doing dinosaur shit.
It's a much bigger budget version of the Tree of Life dinosaur sequence.
Right. Like, but there's no dialogue or anything like that for like us to ruin.
And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, yo, if this is going to be the new Jurassic Park, I'm all in, because this is some like art house shit. I was like, okay, y'all spent some money on doing this shit. Okay, this is interesting. This is new. And then it goes 65 million years later, and we get, well, spoilers. The previous movie ends with the dinosaurs escaping this house, because they're basically Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom is basically a haunted house movie with dinosaurs. That's how fucking stupid that movie is. So the dinosaurs escape, and now they all live among us. So that is literally what
that's a setup for Dominion.
Yeah, and like you turned to me and said, Jeff, once that 5 minutes was done, you're like, the dinosaurs, like that whole modern part of it, that was Spielbergian, and it's true. That's why I want you to watch. There's a short on YouTube that they put out last year, or no, 2 years ago now. Stars Andre Holland and Natalie Martinez, called Battle at Big Rock. And I remember Colin Trevorrow saying, this is what Jurassic World Dominion's going to be. And my brother watched it. He's like, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. And I just remember like a month later, I finally got around to watching it. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is what the third movie's going to be? And then this 5-minute preview kind of reinforces that. Like, yo, this is what the third movie is like the dinosaurs live among us, and we got to just adapt to it.
We got to deal with it.
Yeah, we got to fucking deal with it. Like, yo, we're like, basically, we're going to be extinct, because animals, giant ferocious animals, are obviously the ones who are going to rule out.
Right.
So this got me excited, and I did a little digging, because I was just like, man, this is shot in IMAX, and like this was like the tone of it was good. And I was just doing my research. I read an interview with Colin Trevorrow that he did with Collider, and in this interview, he said that him and his DP shot the whole movie on 70 millimeter.
Right.
So that's why
it's big. That's why it's big.
Yeah, because whenever you filmmakers nowadays, if you shoot on 70 millimeter film, you're gonna open up the aspect ratio for IMAX, because you can do that. So the whole movie is going to be formatted for IMAX because they shot the whole movie on 70 millimeter. So there's going to be two timelines, well, two concurrent stories. You're going to have a story with the original people from Jurassic Park, and then you're going to have Bryce Dallas and Chris Pratt and all the Jurassic World people. So
really?
Those two stories are running concurrently, and then he said at the end of the movie, in the third act, those stories converge, and you get everybody together trying to deal with the big problem of the movie, which hasn't really been revealed yet, because they're keeping this movie under wraps, and rightfully so.
Because this is possibly like $1 billion box office,
and just even the logo for this new one, where the Tyrannosaurus Rex fossils in amber is just amazing too. Like you could tell like they're doing something interesting and different here. And even Colin Trevorrow said, he's like, when I signed on for Jurassic World, I pitched the title Jurassic World because in my mind, Jurassic World is literally the dinosaurs are with us and live among us. And I couldn't do that for the first one because Steven Spielberg said he wanted the park to be open. And that's what the movie had to be, is that the park is open. So now he's like, this is the movie I wanted to do from the get-go.
Right. But, you know, Spielberg was right. You had to build to this, like, you had to build towards Dominion.
Well, if Fallen Kingdom is the stepping stone to get to this, it might redeem Fallen Kingdom for me. It's not entirely, but like it makes it better. Like if this movie delivers on what it's trying to do, then yeah. Because I'm excited. Like this 5-minute preview sold me, and the short film too.
Yeah, but yeah. So continuing with our original story, as soon as the preview was over, this chick disappeared.
Yes, I saw her stand up and she was going through her bag, and I was like, okay, whatever. She's getting ready for, people do that shit.
Right.
Once the movie starts, after that hard opening shot for F9, I look over, gone. Like she straight up paid $14.10 for a fucking 5-minute trailer.
She must still have some of that stimulus money left. Waste money like that.
Like I get it if you're on AMC A list because you get 3 reservations a week for $25 a month. So yeah, I would do that's some shit I would do. Like I'll waste a reservation, but I'm not paying.
Like I don't have that much time. There's not that many hours in the day for me to like go to a movie theater for
a 5-minute
5 minutes and then leave.
But I'm actually at the point now where I'm just like, where I have enough respect where I'm just like, man, there's other stuff I can be doing. I could be utilizing my time a little wisely. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily, especially for a movie that's different. Like I do want to be the first to see a movie because I want to take in this story. But to be the first to watch a preview or some special shit that doesn't really matter, then who cares?
But here's the thing. I watched Wing Commander just because the preview, the teaser trailer for The Phantom Menace was in front of it. So I get showing up for the preview, but then you stay for the fucking movie.
Yeah, man.
And Wing Commander was a piece of shit.
Before I went to work one day, I used one of my A-list reservations for the New York IMAX because it was only one of the few IMAX at the time doing it to see Rise of Skywalker again, just because they had the Tenet prologue in 70 millimeter IMAX in front of it. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. There's parts of Rise of Skywalker I enjoy enough where I could see again. But then it got to a certain point in that movie where I was like, you know what? I got to go to work anyway. I'm leaving.
Right.
So it wasn't like I dipped right after that 5-minute preview. I stuck around.
You had as much as you could tolerate. It was like being waterboarded.
Yeah. So like for stuff like that, I tried to go to see the movie first and foremost. And then if it comes with extras, awesome. If it doesn't, oh well, because I'm trying to see the fucking main feature, the shit I paid to see.
I stayed for Wing Commander because that's how much I loved Star Wars. And then Star Wars hasn't loved me back since.
Yeah. It has one time.
Except for...
it has one time.
Mandalorian.
It has one time before that, too.
What? I mean...
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, right. And we are two people who will argue this to death. The Last Jedi was a good movie.
Well, we're going to do a special Rise of Skywalker episode, so we'll save that for that. But all right.
But all you fucking haters on The Last Jedi, you don't get it. It's about heroes growing up.
All right. Well, let's move into the main part of the show.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurbs Feature Film Review.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Vroom, vroom. Well, let's before we get into F9, let's real quickly and make this real quick. Werewolves Within.
Werewolves Within. We talked about this last week, or was it the week before?
It was a week before where we talked about the trailer.
Right, and so we were able to get our hands on a screener for Werewolves Within, and it did not fucking disappoint.
It was solid. It was a good horror comedy.
Yeah,
it's a nice little hour and a half.
Right, and like it was quick.
Yes,
it was.
Yes,
like not a wasted moment in that whole entire fucking movie.
They knew the tone. They knew what they were trying to do. Very good. Sam Richardson killed it. Milana Weintraub killed it. Oh man, she needs to be in more.
Right. Like if you don't know who I can't.
Lily the AT&T girl. If you guys need to know Milana Weintraub, yeah, please put her in more.
Right, because she is hilarious.
Yeah.
And like the movie is filled with quirky characters, but they're not like
cutesy indie, right?
Right, like not over the top.
Yeah.
And the tension is there. It's not terrifying, but there are some jump scares in it and shit like that. And it's like I didn't see the end coming, honestly.
I didn't either.
You know, like so that's I give it kudos for that, for me not seeing how it was going to end. You know?
Yeah, man. If you got it's in theaters this past weekend and it's coming to VOD this upcoming weekend. So like it's July 4th weekend. If you want something fun, and you can't make it to the theater for F9 after your barbecue, you're too lit, you're too fucked up, stay at home and just stream this.
Right. Like, we don't have too much to say because there's nothing to tear apart.
Yeah, because it's an hour and a half. There's really nothing to dig into. It's surface level, and that's fine.
Right.
Like, not everything needs to be allegorical, you know what I mean? Or subversive, as a lot of people love to say. Nothing's subversive anymore.
Like, for a movie that's based on a video game that no one's heard of.
It's a VR game. That's the problem.
Right.
That's
right.
why.
Yeah. But the writer came out. This is her first feature.
Wow, that's a hard out the gate feature. Right.
But she did write a book called I'm Down. And I'm going to read that over the weekend. So pretty much the story of I'm Down is it's her true story. She's a white woman who was raised in the hood by her dad or her white father who thought he was black. So she was raised in the hood. She was like, around black people, but she was too white to be black. But then she goes to a private school. And so she's too black to fit in there at the private school.
Sounds like White Boy Rick.
It sounds like White Boy Rick, but with a female, main character. How this has not been optioned and turned into a movie, I don't know. But like she, I forget what her name is. Her last name's Wolf. I gotta look it up. This is her first film. I don't even know how they tapped her for it. I don't know if she pitched it to them, but out the gate, she killed it.
Yeah, man. So Werewolves Within, shout out to her. I'm gonna check out her book. But yeah, man, Werewolves Within we love it. We recommend it.
Yeah.
So.
It's a cute horror comedy.
Yeah. All right, let's.
NOS, we gotta press the space NOS. There's space NOS now, cause fuck physics, fuck everything.
I would like to first and foremost say, this movie, we talked about this last week about how Dominic Toretto should have just been a anti-hero. This demystifies the whole incident about what made Dominic Toretto.
How is this movie filled with so much pathos? like heart and fucking just, oh my God, I'm mad.
Well, I wanna steal something from Scott Wampler, because Scott Wampler put out some tweets the other day that I want to read off, and I agree with him. And this is why I love this fucking franchise. F9 is one of the most preposterous summer blockbusters I've ever seen. It's like 80% of the way to being a live action Team America.
Right? Like I said, it's like almost like Hot Wheels, the movie.
Yes. He says, Oscar winner Charlize Theron rocks a bowl cut in a Magneto prison. Vin Diesel full-on bangs some guy over a guardrail. At one point, the camera drifts up to a shot of the moon hanging in the blue sky above, and it technically counts as a transition shot. 1,000 stars.
Yeah, this movie is so fucking fun.
Yes. This is the movie. This is why I go to the movies, to fucking just have a good time and cut up and just.
This is a summer movie.
Yeah.
This is the summer movie.
You guys, in the trailer, if you've seen the trailer, that whole shit on the island and you see them swinging from island to island. Yeah, that shit's in the first 20 minutes.
Right.
Like, think about that.
Yeah. And
it only goes up from there.
It's like no fucks given the movie, but also I love how they realize that they don't give any fucks. There is even like a whole entire line of dialogue saying, like, pretty much, yeah, we should be dead.
Yeah, Tyrese is like, you guys realize all the shit we've been through and we're still alive? Like, yo, the movie is so self-aware that he runs into a room full of bad guys. Normally, in any real situation,
he's dead.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah, he turns around in a big circle with an automatic rifle, just takes out everybody, and then he looks at himself and he's literally smoking from all the bullet holes because the body armor saved him. I'm like, bro, body armor only works enough. Like, you could only. Like, stuff that is bulletproof only for a while. Like, you shoot that motherfucker enough, eventually it's gonna give. And like, Tyrese should have been dead.
Right. Yeah. No. It's so fucking.
The car, even the car in the. Remember when the car where he escapes the car and then it has that big suspenseful moment.
Right. like Tyrese should be dead 5 times. In this whole entire movie.
Yes.
And I won't say this about a lot of movies that have come out in 2020 or 2021, but this needs to be seen as big as possible.
Yes.
With the best sound system, because literally like 5 minutes into the movie, there is we're watching in Dolby Atmos. There was a gunshot, a surprise gunshot. I jumped out of my seat. It felt like that motherfucker flew right past my ear.
Yeah. This is one where I agree with Jeff. You got to see it in IMAX like we did, or go to the Dolby Cinema and see it where it has good sound mixing. I'm gonna see it again tomorrow. I'm gonna go right to Princeton and see it. Like listen, I was having so much fun, and I was so tore up that I started blowing clouds in the fucking theater.
Right, like he's just like fucking just like.
I whipped out my vape and just started hitting that shit right.
Because nothing matters.
Yo, yeah.
Because NOS, baby, you that was human NOS.
And I know the people sitting behind us were probably pissed because every 5 minutes you see a giant cloud of.
You're seeing F9. Nothing matters. Your life doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, just from why'd they use the old school Universal logo to open it?
Because all right, so the opening of this movie is straight like Days of Thunder. It takes place in 95, right? And so that's why they used the old logo, because it was, they were trying to keep that whole entire aesthetic of the 90s, and like. How they worked John Cena in there.
Beautiful.
It actually really fucking works.
And John Cena was good. He was better than Dave Bautista in Army of the Dead.
Right.
And I was just like, wait, how John Cena?
Like, how is John Cena making me feel things?
Yo, now, like, watching this movie, I was like, now it makes sense to me why during the test screenings, everybody thought Peacemaker was the best part of Suicide Squad, and why James Gunn wrote and directed a whole Peacemaker show for that character. Because John Cena, he's a presence.
He's about to blow it up.
Yeah, man, he's a presence.
About to blow it up.
Like the dude, he's obviously a good villain. He's intimidating. You feel the threat.
Right.
I think that's the other problem I had with 8. I never felt the threat. And this one, you feel the threat. He's funny too, because he was hilarious in Blockers. He was butt chugging beers.
I still have yet to see Blockers. It's on my list. But let's talk about how Charlize Theron is the Thanos of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Because in the 8th movie, you find out that her character Cypher
has been fucking shit up since the 5th movie.
Yeah, like she's basically responsible for everything. She's responsible for Owen Shaw. She's responsible for Deckard Shaw.
Actually, she's been running shit since 4.
Why is that? How's that?
Because the drug lord.
Wait, what?
Like because 4 was about the drug running, right?
Right.
She partnered up with the drug dealer. Like remember when Brian has to go, right, and sneak into the jail in prison in 6, and she he mentions her, or no, like she mentions him in 8.
God damn! All right, yo. Speaking of,
so Charlize Theron has literally been Thanosing the entire fucking Fast and the Furious universe.
And speaking of, Shea Wiggum's Agent Steinzak is back, and his nose is
fucked up.
I was like, Brian punched you that hard?
Twice.
But it healed up completely in 6, and then he did it again. It healed up completely in 6, and then he did it again in 6.
I thought he punched him in 4.
He punched him in 4, and then he punched him again in 6.
Right.
And I was just like, bro, your nose is still fucked up from 6? That was like 4 years ago in this universe, bro. What the fuck?
Right, yeah. Everybody's fucking back. Let's talk about how the Tokyo Drift crew has not aged well at all.
They all look like they did 20 years of hard drinking.
It was Bow Wow, right? Little Bow Wow.
Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow just looks like Wolf now.
his character's name is Twinkie, and I was just like, whoo, my man. And Lucas Black looks like he not only was he drinking, but he was smoking meth.
Lucas Black looks like he's auditioning for Doc Brown in a Doc Brown fucking Back to the Future prequel. He's all mad scientist and shit like that.
And they never explain why he's like that. Like, I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be the Drift King in Tokyo. Why the fuck aren't you in Tokyo drifting?
Like, why do you look like the meth king of Missouri?
Yeah, I'm so they gotta like now they gotta put out a short film explaining like how he went from being Drift King to just building rocket cars out of nowhere,
out of a Fiero.
Yeah. Yo.
I knew a kid who drove a Fiero. He was an asshole, so I associate that with.
And they use that same fucking car to destroy his satellite.
Oh, god damn.
And it doesn't destroy the car, bro. Like, they are fine. They drive right through that fucking satellite.
They do some right stuff shit with a Fiero with a rocket attached to it.
Yo, when we saw them go to space, me and you were the only ones clapping because we were just like, at that point, we're like, yeah.
Why
not? Why not?
Fucks given.
Why not? Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man. What makes the ridiculousness work in this one and not for the previous two of me is because of Justin Lin. Justin Lin knows how to do dramatic when it needs to be, but then like is self-aware and knows when to not take itself seriously when it needs to be, and that's the problem with the last two.
Because when the heart is there, it's spot on. It's like you should not have this much of an emotional connection to people in this fucking franchise.
Yes.
But you do in 9, and so that makes all the ridiculousness palpable, because it's like, okay, I really, really like these characters.
Yes, and this is it's like we said before, it's kind of wonky how they write around Brian and how they include Brian's included. Like, he is in the movie, but he's never on screen just because Paul Walker died.
Right. They mention him like he's
but they did something I thought was brave. Instead of Brian coming back, it's Mia. Mia instead joins the team, and then she proves that she's very capable, and you're just like, why wasn't she in these missions more and doing more on these missions?
Because she was pregnant for most of them.
So yeah. I see now. I understand why Michelle Rodriguez was so mad for so long on saying like, yo, you guys need to start giving the women more to do, because you once this series ends, like Vin Diesel said, he said straight up, January we're gonna start shooting 10 and 11, and that's it. And now they're starting to set up this spin-offs, and you're getting the flavors of the spin-off. Like when Michelle and Mia go off on their mission, you see how that could work.
Right.
And if they bring Giselle back and Giselle pops in, like,
man, like I don't like. All right, so spoiler alert, you saw it in the fucking trailer. They bring Han back.
Right.
I don't know how they can bring Giselle back.
Bro, they bring back Han, and we're not going to spoil how they bring back Han, but that shit is retarded. It makes no sense. It is fucking stupid, like everything in this movie, but you just go along with it because at this point, you're like, I'm along for the ride, baby. Like,
yeah, I mean, but yeah, they could bring back Giselle.
So yeah, the female-led one, you get a flavor of it, and you're just like, yeah, I could see how this could work in a nice movie.
You're going to get another Hobbs and Shaw.
You see how a Tyrese and Ludacris,
Tez,
like Roman and Tej spinoff, because they get their own shit for a lot of it, and you're just like, I could see how this movie could work. Like, you get the flavors of what they're going to do once Dominic Toretto's out of the picture. I'm glad. I think they set that up perfectly in the first 5 minutes, because Letty straight up says, she's like, this isn't us, Dom. Like, I miss it, and she rides off, and that makes sense. You're just gonna have to turn Dom into Brian, where he's just like, "Yo, listen,
he's like, I gotta take care of my kid."
Yeah, you go ahead. So they got to out with that. I mean, the other thing too is, I would say F9 made Toretto an interesting character again, because they made the stakes personal, and it wasn't like the stakes weren't personal, but it was personal to him. Like, I get it. The last one, they kidnapped Elena, but it still didn't feel as personal as this
one with his brother.
And you got to dig deep into his past.
And like that backstory, it had no right to be that good. Like his backstory in this movie is actually really well thought out.
Yeah. I mean, it's digging into the mythology of this series, because we hear about it over the course of the
since the first one.
Yeah, where he beat the dude with the sock, and you watch and you understand why. Because if I was in that situation, I might have done the same thing. Because like, come on, man, he literally just saw his dad die, and this dude's gonna come over, the dude who's responsible for the crash,
right? And he's gonna start some shit.
Yeah,
like, it's not even like he walked up on him. It's not even like Toretto walked up on him. Like, it's not like he stalked him. Like, Toretto tried to keep it cool.
And the thing is like, how much of an asshole are you gonna go get drunk and then not even like go up and say like sorry or respect? You're just gonna whip off the tarp of the burned out car and just stare at it like it's a trophy or some shit.
Yeah. So like, I mean, the beginning of this movie is pretty much that story that
you hear about
Dominic tells in the first first four, but like he really gets into the details in the first one, you know,
because it has that hard. This one, and this is why I say Justin Lin was missed, because nobody thinks like this. He cares, because that opening shot where it has that slow pull out from the helmet, into the
raceway,
and I was just like, see, he cares, because everybody would just be like, just do an establishing shot of the track, and he's like, no. I'm making a movie. Like, let me make a movie. He cares. Watching this, and I'm just like, I'm so glad Justin's coming back for 10 and 11, because had he just come back for this one, I'd be like, okay, seeing him come back and giving me that feeling I had watching 4, 5, and 6, it's
going to be a steep decline.
Yeah, because I'm not saying James Wan's a bad director. We've praised him before on this show, and I'm not saying F. Gary Gray is a bad director. They're not.
This isn't their movie.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Justin Lin's series.
Yeah, this is Justin Lin. And you know what, man? Justin Lin's a great director, because he did Star Trek Beyond. And not only did he keep it in style of what JJ did, but he did his own thing with that. Because there's a shot where literally the camera rotates and then holds onto the bow of the Enterprise, and then it launches with the Enterprise into space. Hold that shot. And I'm just like, see, he's doing things here in this Star Trek movie to prove that he's capable of doing more than Fast and Furious. So like, when this is all said and done, like once F11's out and everything, I hope he gets more work, because the only other thing he did was like a couple of episodes of True Detective season 2, because me and my brother,
which episodes?
It's like the first 2.
Okay.
Because me and my brother talked about it, and we looked up his filmography, and Annapolis, that boat movie, that naval school movie, came out the same year as Tokyo Drift.
Yo.
And that movie apparently has 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has Tyrese, James Franco, and Jordana Brewster. And 2 of them are in the Fast movies.
Right.
So, look, man, I can't say it enough. F9 is so much fun. Like, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm seeing it again tomorrow.
Yeah, if you need an escape, you know, like you don't want to think about anything and you just want to have some fun, it is so fucking fun, you know?
Yeah. So anything,
go see it.
Yeah, go see F9. All right, this is episode 10. We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, and I am not the motherfucking protagonist.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.